Hello and welcome back to another qcat tutorial, drawing methods in qcat and knowing coordinate system. qcat uses Cartesian coordinate system which consists of two numbered scales called as x-axis and y-axis. These are perpendicular to each other and these axes to divide coordinate system into four quadrants. Your work in qcat will mostly be in quadrant 1. The point where these axes meet is called as absolute 0, 0 or the origin point. For this tutorial I am using GNU Linux operating system Ubuntu version 10.04 LTS and qcat Community Edition version 2.0.5.0. In this tutorial we will see Cartesian coordinate system, how to use command line to draw objects, and different drawing methods available in qcat. Let us first see how to use command line to put in coordinates to draw points and draw objects of required measurements using the Cartesian coordinate system. Please have the qcat application open in your system. If you want to know how to install qcat, please refer to the earlier tutorial called as Introduction to qcat, which is available on Spoken Tutorial website. Once the application is open, from the left side toolbar, choose line tool, line with 2 points. Now focus on the command prompt because we are going to use command line to put in exact coordinates. It is asking to specify first point. Let's put 10, 10. We always put x-axis value first and then the y-axis value. What this is going to do is it will add a point 10 units away from x and y-axis. Hit enter. See, the point is entered in relation to this origin or absolute 0, 0, which is 10 units away from x and 10 units away from y axis. Now suppose I want to draw a horizontal line in this direction going forward away from this point of say 10 units. For the next point I will add 20, 10. Now x-axis value 20 because this point, new point, will always be in relation to this absolute 0. So, to meet the distance of 10, I will have to add 10 units to the earlier point's x value. And y value will not change, so it will be 10 here. Now, if I want to go vertical line downwards, again of 10 units, for the next point at the command prompt, I will put 20, 0. X-axis value won't change. Y-axis will be 10 units minus from the earlier value. So it will be 0. Now again to go horizontal in 9 o'clock direction. For the next point I will put 10, 0. Here y-axis won't change and x-axis will be minus 10 from in relation to the previously drawn point. Now to close my drawing I can simply put C and enter, or I can go back to my original point which was 10, 10 and it will close the drawing. This is how you draw using the command line input. Now you can draw any drawing by using this coordinate system by adding, subtracting absolute coordinates for any point or vertex between two segments, like I did to draw 10 unit distance for this drawing. But this is going to be little complicated. Rather, qcat offers easy methods to draw objects with. First is the relative coordinate system. It uses coordinates that are relative to the last point designated rather than the 0, 0 point of the drawing area. @ symbol is used to enter data using this system, relative coordinate system. Let us try drawing this previously drawn square using relative coordinate system. Let me clear my drawing. Go back to line tool, line with 2 points. To specify first point at the command prompt, enter 10, 10. Again x and y axis. It is going to put point at the 10, 10 distance. For the next point, now that we are using relative system, we have to put @ symbol, @ whenever we want to use relative system, at symbol is a must. After that, I want to draw horizontal line in 3 o'clock direction of 10 units. So x value is 10, so I put at 10 comma 0 because y value is 0 here. Now for the vertical line going in downward direction, again for relative I use at, then x value is 0 but y becomes minus 10 because it is going in opposite direction. That's why value is negative here. For the next horizontal line in 9 o'clock direction, I say at. Now x-axis is negative. It's going in opposite direction in relation to the previously drawn point. Minus 10 comma 0. And now to close the drawing, I can simply put C and enter, or to go back to that original point. This case I say at 0, x-axis is 0 and y is going vertical in positive direction, so positive plus 10. And this is how you draw using relative coordinate system. Next is relative polar coordinate system. It relies on distance and angle relative to the last specified point. Always it's positive and represents distance away from the first point. Let's try and draw the previously drawn square using this polar coordinate system. In polar coordinate, right towards 3 o'clock is always default 0 angle, and all other angles are calculated in anti-clockwise direction related to default 0. So let's go to line tool, again line with 2 points. At the command prompt, specify first point as 10, comma 10, enter. Point is specified. Now to draw horizontal line of 10 units using relative polar coordinate, I first put at symbol because it is relative. Then I say distance, I know which is 10. I use this symbol, greater than, less than symbol for angle, and I know angle is in 3 o'clock direction, which is 0, default 0. So my horizontal line of 10 units is drawn. For the vertical line in downward direction, I again put at, distance is 10, angle mark, shift and press that button, and I put 270 as angle this time because anti-clockwise downward is 270. For the next point, horizontal line in 9 o'clock direction, I say at 10, angle will be 180 degrees because it is exactly opposite to the default 0 position. Now lastly, I can always put C to close and else enter the point as at 10, angle 90 because it is going in upward direction. This completes our drawing in polar coordinate system. Third is the direct distance method, which can be used to draw lines by specifying first point in relation to already drawn object using snapping tools by placing a cursor at that point and entering a distance value. Let's say in this drawing, if I want to put a horizontal line going in 3 o'clock direction exactly from this point, I can do so by using this direct distance method. I choose line with 2 points. Now I know exactly at what point I want line ahead. So from the snapping options on the left toolbar, I choose snap to endpoints and go on that point and then left click to select the first point. Now in relation to this point, I want to draw a line, horizontal line of 20 units. So I use command line to specify my next point. I can use relative polar coordinate system here. Since it is relative, I say at. Now distance, I know it is 20, and since it is in 3 o'clock direction, which is default 0 angle, so I say at 0, angle 0, and enter. The line is drawn. Now say I want vertical line of say 7 units going in 90 degrees direction. I can use now relative method here, relative coordinate method, and say at. I know 7 is the y direction, x is 0, so I say 0, comma 7, and I can use relative coordinate method to draw vertical line. Again, if I want horizontal line going in 9 o'clock direction, say 5 units away, I can again use relative coordinate method. At the command prompt I say at -5 now, because x is in negative direction, x value will be negative, comma 0, y is 0. Now I can close down this line because I know the distance is 7. I can draw vertical line going towards 6 o'clock direction. Once I know all the different methods I can draw objects with, I can use combination of any to draw objects. So now to draw that vertical line I can use polar method, relative polar. So I say at, I know distance is 7, I use angle symbol. Since it is 6 o'clock direction, it is going to be 270, and this completes our drawing. So this is how you use different methods in the qcat. Now that you are familiar with drawing methods and the coordinate system in qcat, let us come to the assignment part. I would like you to draw a diagram as shown in this figure. You can either use relative coordinate method, relative polar, or direct method, or combination of any to draw this. I would like to acknowledge Spoken Tutorial project, which is a part of Talk to a Teacher project. It is supported by the National Mission on Education through ICT, MHRD, Government of India. For more information about this initiative, please visit following website. Thank you. I'm hoping you're enjoying exploring qcat more. This is Leena signing off.